In this video, I'm going to be sharing with you 5 of my best tips for improving your blog that you can actually go away and action today. Hi, if you're new here, my name is Anna. I am a designer and online educator at byrozanna.co.uk, and I share videos on YouTube all about business, marketing, tech tutorials, blogging, branding, all sorts of things specifically for small businesses and creative freelancers. So hit the subscribe button if you want to watch more video content like that. So I've been blogging pretty solidly both on my personal lifestyle / travel blog and my business blog for about the last 5 to 6 years. And I've learned so much through doing that and about how to grow an audience and get more traffic to your website, keep people on your blog, reading different blogs, and how to utilize blogging to actually grow your business. So today I thought I would share 5 of my best tips for improving your blog that are pretty quick and easy things that you could implement today to start seeing more traffic and actually utilize your blog in the best way possible. So my first tip is to actually question whether or not you need a sidebar on your blog. Maybe you have one, maybe you don't, and there is a whole massive debate about it. I've actually written a long blog post debating the pros and cons of having a sidebar before, which I will leave in the description for this video. But a lot of blog layouts automatically come with a sidebar built in. It usually has maybe like a photo of you on it and a little bio about what your website and your blog is about and what you do. Maybe there's some like social media links and links to recent blog posts, maybe some special pages or offers that you're doing at the moment, and that is all down the side of your blog posts. Now, a couple of years ago on my travel blog, I actually updated the design and removed the sidebar completely. And first of all, I did it as just a test and an experiment to see if it would actually affect people reading my blog. Because the concept of having a sidebar is basically so that you can have places for people to link to and explore other than the blog post that they're currently on. So it kind of acts as a way of keeping them on your website for longer. That's the concept behind a sidebar. And for my travel blog, my bounce rate has always been really, really low. A bounce rate is basically the percentage of people who will come onto your website and visit it. Maybe they've seen a link on Pinterest or on Facebook or something like that, or in Google even. They visit your website, and then a bounce rate is the percentage of people who leave immediately after landing on that first page. And typical website or blog bounce rates can be anywhere from between 40 to 80%, I would say, is kind of average. Anything below 40 is really pretty good. My bounce rate on the Cornish Life has actually been under 2% consistently over the last kind of 4 years. And so I was really hesitant about getting rid of my sidebar originally, because I kind of thought, okay, maybe all the content that shows up in the sidebar is keeping people on my site for longer. They're clicking through to other pages, and therefore that's making my bounce rate low. So I was worried that when I got rid of it, that I would then see my bounce rate go up. What actually happened was the opposite. I saw my bounce rate go down. Now, I would definitely suggest testing this out for yourself. Maybe don't just completely get rid of your sidebar altogether, but just test it out for a few weeks and see what the results are. But I would ask yourself the question, do you really need it? Is it creating a distraction for people who are trying to read your blog? Are they actually getting in depth with the blog post and the writing that you've actually done, or are they distracted and overwhelmed by all the different options that are on the page, and then that's making them click away or get distracted and not actually read the post that you've created? So now my blog looks nice and clean. There is no sidebar. If they do want to click through to other stuff, there's links throughout the post, and there is also suggested and related posts at the bottom. So that is one tip that could potentially improve your bounce rate and keep people on your site for longer. My second tip is to make sure that you've got lots of share buttons on your blog. And what I mean by that is little social media buttons that allow people to automatically click that and share it to their own social networks. So I'm going to just head over to one of my favorite travel blogs, which is Hand Luggage Only, and they just post loads of kind of travel content and blogs, but this is the same for any industry and any niche. I would recommend putting share buttons on your blog posts. So if I scroll down, obviously they've got kind of social media links that actually just link to their own social profiles to get people to follow them. But also if I scroll down, you'll see that they've also got these little buttons placed throughout the post as well. There's some at the top there. If we scroll right to the bottom, then there's some right at the bottom as well. There we go. And what this basically does is suggest to the person who's reading it, would you like to share this with your followers? And then obviously if someone else is sharing your post to their audience, then you have the potential to grow your audience and get more people seeing your blog post. So adding this line of share buttons is a really good idea. You'll see if I click on the Pinterest button, it says, okay, pick an image from here and pin it to your own Pinterest boards and therefore to your own audience. And you can do these with different plugins. There's loads of different things available on different website platforms. Squarespace comes with some automatically, but if you want to make them more kind of prominent on your blog posts, I'd suggest looking at a plugin like Shareaholic. Does these really, really well and gives you like lots of analytics and social proof and things like that. I'll leave a link to that below in the description. My next tip is called deep linking. Make sure that you are linking to other blog posts or pages on your website from within every blog post. This is really, really important for SEO. So it's important that when you do write a blog post, you're not only linking to a few outside resources that are really useful and valuable and that are relevant to your post. That's really important for SEO, that you are actually linking out of your website to other people's resources to help people kind of find out more information if you like. It's also important to link to your own content. And what that does is not only help your SEO as well, that is a factor that comes into it, but it also keeps people on your website for longer, because as they're scrolling through your blog post, like for example this one of mine on the Cornish Live, you can see there's already like 4 different links that people can click on within the first few paragraphs. So if they are interested in learning more about the blue flag, if they click that link, they'll be taken to another one of my articles about it. And it basically just gives people a journey and links to follow through to find more information and makes it more easy for them to binge your content. You want to keep people on your site for as long as possible. Not only does this obviously help with you growing your brand and making yourself more memorable to that person, it helps with SEO, and also if your content is really specific to your business as well, that can help you actually grow your customer base too. So remember, when you are writing up a blog post, think about every paragraph that you're writing. Is there somewhere on your website or on your blog already that you've mentioned this or talked about this in more detail? Could you link to it? Could you link to outside resources that are also valuable as well? My next tip is to make sure that you are always adding Pinterest optimized images to your blog posts, so that either you can share them to your own Pinterest profile and get them over on Pinterest and get people seeing your pins and therefore clicking through to your website, or it encourages other people to see your blog post and want to share it on Pinterest as well, if they know that the Pinterest optimized images are there, and if you've got a little pin it button as well. If we go onto Pinterest, you can see roughly what the kind of Pinterest optimized pin looks like. What I'm talking about is basically a vertical image, and there is a typical ratio that is better and more optimal for it. You can go and look that up and create graphics and images and putting text over images, for example, like this one. I do all of that in Canva for my graphics that I create, but you'll see that on some of my blog posts there, some of the images are just naturally vertical, so I can share them straight to Pinterest. But as I say, it doesn't matter if you don't have photographs for your blog posts. Maybe you just want to share like the title of the blog post and make it engaging and clickable. Like I've done here is I've just created a graphic in Canva that is optimized for Pinterest. They've got like a Pinterest pin template on there that you can use. And I've installed a little pin it button on my website, so that if I hover over one of the images, you can see that little Pinterest button hovers over there. People can click it and then share this post to their own Pinterest boards. And just so that you know, I do have online courses both about blogging, which goes really in depth about how to actually blog, optimize your post for SEO, come up with your content ideas, things like that, and an online course all about Pinterest and how to use that to grow your blog or grow your website. And those 2 courses together are super powerful for getting your website lots more traffic. But I talk about everything Pinterest related in that course and how to actually set up your Pinterest account and your boards and pins and all things like that. And my 5th and final tip is to always add a call to action to the end of your blog posts. When you are coming out with blog content, especially if you are a business and not just a blogger, you always need to be having a purpose to your blog post that you create. Blog posts take a long time to create, and so it's really important that you have some kind of benefit or purpose that comes back to your own business goals and what you want to achieve out of the marketing tactic, which is blogging. So consider what your goal is with the post, what the purpose is, and then be sure to add a call to action at the end of the post that satisfies that. It could just be to leave a comment below, it could be to follow us on Instagram and carry on the conversation there, it could be to get in touch about starting a project or buy this product. But one of the easiest things to do is to use a call to action to encourage people to sign up to your newsletter. So if we scroll to the bottom of my blog post here, you can see I've got a free incentive that says if you want to join my free Instagram course, there's 9 in-depth modules, here's what you get. You can sign up for free below. And then when people sign up, they get access to the free Instagram course, but they also go onto my newsletter list and I can promote other things to them once they're on there. It works a lot like a funnel because when you think about it, if someone's on your blog post, they've just got to know you, they're just reading about your business and about your blog, and then if you ask them straight away to buy something or get in touch with you about a project, that might be a little bit too soon. They haven't had the chance to build up a relationship with you. So offering some kind of incentive or just saying, okay, sign up to my newsletter for more tips is a way to get them closer connected with you, but without selling. And then you can sell to them later down the line on your email newsletter list. I've got loads of resources about doing that as well. So at the bottom of this blog post, my call to action is join my free Instagram course, sign up here. But as I say, yours could be anything you like. Just make sure that you do add it because you always want there to be a purpose to your blog posts. So that is it for my blogging tips. Hopefully those are nice and quick and simple for you to be able to implement as soon as possible. If you do want to learn how to actually create a content plan and put together something that's streamlined and related to your business, if you want to create a content bank of ideas and a 30-day plan of what you're actually going to post on your blog, I have a free masterclass all about that called Create Your Cohesive Content Plan. And as I say, it's completely free to sign up for. It's a 60-minute video training and it's pre-recorded so you can watch it whenever, and I will leave the link to that in the description. Thanks so much for watching and I'll be back again next week with another video.